All right, welcome into Intelligent Aces podcast, episode number 37, and stuff is not right. Scuff at the beginning. Imagine that. What are we doing here? Why is my... I gotta find the window. The window's not lined up correctly. What's off here?
It's like a diamond. Are you playing like cards on the side?
Well, yeah, that's my like overlays or whatever. It's got like a card poker themed or whatever. Like, I don't know why this cutoff is like that though. This thing has always been just right. Like now, OBS says no, you don't fit no more. I mean, that wouldn't fucking shock me any. Let's be honest. OBS has been a real pain in my butt lately. Okay. We'll lock this window down. I think. Nope, that's not. That's the wrong button. Lock, not hide. There we go. Okay, now I can see, and yeah, everything's centered now. Cool. All right. Yeah. Anyway, opening with Scuff yet again. This marks the 37th episode that I've opened with Scuff, so it's pretty fucking normal at this point. I'm guessing audio is working. Normally, this is where somebody. Both my things are unmuted, so it should be fine. Yeah, audio is also still stupid hard, as you can imagine.
Let's see.
I think
can hear you
okay
on the stream.
Okay.
I can hear me on the stream.
Okay, then it's working correctly. Perfect. So I have a little ritual that I do for new guests on the podcast, and I have a cardboard back here, and basically it's all streamers and people that's guest starred. So I'm gonna let you pick a card of what's left, what's remaining, and then you'll get to go on the cardboard. So,
so I get to pick one of those, or I get to pick
whatever's left in the deck. So you name a card, and I'll tell you if it's available or
not. Let's go with the Jack of Spades.
Jack of Spades is available. Perfect. You got the last one-eyed Jack. Yep. Last one-eyed Jack. Cool. And now you get to pick a color to write your name with.
Oh.
So now I got a shit ton of markers, bro. Just I got like all these like fucking metallic markers and stuff.
I pick orange. Whatever it is, I pick orange. You have orange.
I think that's the one color I really don't have. I got fucking highlighter green and shit, but I don't think I got orange. Is the one
like a cyan blue then.
Okay, I got that. I got them.
All right.
I got that. That blue.
Perfect.
That will work. Hopefully it works good. So what kind of games do you normally play? Swoop while I'm writing your name on here.
So I play, this is like kind of the basic, you're like on a second date with a chick in like 2004 answer, but like I play everything. Like she'd be like, what are your music do you listen to? I listen to everything. I play like everything. Most of my friends play Call of Duty or PUBG, Apex Legends, which has led me to the realization that Call of Duty players do not identify themselves as video game players. They identify themselves as Call of Duty players. And this is further cemented by the fact that I try to get all my friends to play other video games, and they do not want to play other video games, or they hate other video games.
I can confirm.
I play a lot of stuff. I play a lot of Souls-likes. I play a lot of roguelites. A lot of story. I play a lot of story games. Pretty much, yeah. If it's a good story or like a really engaging game, or like there's some kind of, cult of personality, some like moment game, I'll hop into it. Yeah, so I play a lot of everything. Speedrun. The only thing I really speedrun and submitted times for is Resident Evil 4, but huge Resident Evil fan. Do you play Resident Evil?
Yeah, I did play the remake. I played every. I have not finished 7, and I have not started 8.
Okay.
The first person ones, like I played 7 here. I bought it a couple years ago and just like made like halfway into it, and then I don't know why I just kind of dipped off of it. I don't remember why I stopped playing it. Something else came along, I guess. Probably is what happened. Um, so yeah, I do enjoy Resident Evil, and I'm pretty stoked. And I need to finish. I tried to do a second run through of RE4 remake, where I get the, I guess trying to get all the hidden shit or whatever, where you have to like do certain things or whatever to like unlock different stuff. Well, I was trying to get to like unlock the Chicago typewriter. You have to do, and then you have to like get to hard mode and stuff like that. So that's what I was working for. I just kind of dipped off playing it, started playing something else. Too many games these days.
There are a lot. There are a lot.
Yeah, big Resident Evil fan. I'm actually a huge Capcom fan. Like, there's very few titles Capcom comes out with that I don't really enjoy.
You like Monster Hunter?
Yeah, yeah. I became a big fan during World. To me, it hit my ADHD just right, where I could go and hunt a monster for 15 or 20 minutes, come back, work on a piece of armor, and then if I needed to go away, I could just walk away. You know, like
yeah.
I could just jump in, do these missions. People were like, I want to hunt this monster or whatever. Like, okay, I'll join you. I don't care. You know, I put like 400 plus hours on my PlayStation. Then when I switched over to PC, I've got like another 200 or 300 hours on PC as well. And then I played The Rise, and now I'm excited for Wilds coming out next year.
Rise was the one that released on Switch and was
Yeah.
like exclusive for a year, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Then they released it on PC. I liked it. A lot of people are like, it doesn't. I don't like it as well as I like World, which World was developed for a more powerful console. So they're like, it looked. The Switch version actually looked really well, but some of the maps and stuff weren't as detailed and stuff.
I mean, I feel like I've got like a sidekick, like the old phone that's stronger than the Switch at this point.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I mean, it's not. I mean, it's nothing super special. And then, like, even when they come out on PC, like, it looked good, but like, they had to leave out stuff to make it fit on the Switch. Like some of the terrain and stuff doesn't work the same way in Worlds. Like, there was no good sliding mechanics and stuff like you could do in World. And so anyway, I'm excited for Wilds though. For it to come out, and Street Fighter. Like, I haven't played a Street Fighter in a while, but like I definitely enjoy those games.
You played 6?
No, I haven't. I never did touch 6. I didn't play 5 either. I played 4 was like the last one I was really into. I like those games. It's one of those things like I'll play it, I'll buy it, play it, but I don't have nobody to play with. So
yeah,
and then if I ever do play with somebody, like I've already like mastered most of these characters, so it's pretty useless
to get shit on. It's not fun.
Yeah,
I got 6 when it came out because I saw all these people saying like, oh, even if you're not like a fighting game fan, 6 is really fun. It looks really cool. And I just gotten like an ultra wide OLED, and I was like, oh, I want to play some stuff on this OLED and like really show it off. And my dumb brain didn't realize that fighting games are like always the 4:3 square. So, or like they do 16:9, but they won't do ultra wide, and they won't do like a 16:10 fucking frame. So I had these like bars on each side of the fucking screen that were like arcade cabinet bars, and I was like, well, this sucks. Maybe I'll deal with it.
Country Boy coming in with the tier 1. Thank you, sir, for rejoining the fucking players. Sorry, man. Didn't mean to.
No, you're good. So I had the bars on the side, and I was like, well, whatever. Okay, I can live with that. What I couldn't live with was I use a PS5 controller on PC games, and every glyph on the screen was for an Xbox controller. And I could not figure it out. I could not get it to switch over to PlayStation glyphs, and I was like, well, okay, you lost me. So I refunded it after like 45 minutes.
Yeah, weirdly, I don't know why it did that. But that's not the only game that does it. There's a lot of games that like don't give you, and I think World probably was fine because it came out on PlayStation originally, so it already had all that stuff in it. But like, I think everything defaults to Xbox or whatever, which
it does.
That's what I have now. I have Xbox controllers. I have a PS4 controller, but like it's hooked to my PS4, which is also hooked to my monitors and stuff. So if I turn it on, it's going to power on my PlayStation. I'm just like, fuck it. I'll just keep separate controllers. It's fine.
Yeah. I mean, even Elden Ring, though. Elden Ring on PC is like you cannot get PlayStation glyphs unless you mod it. And then if you mod it, you can't play online. And so I just, I've had to deal with it, whatever. But some games aren't fucking Elden Ring, and some games I'm not just gonna like sit there and suffer through. I don't know why every game doesn't just let you do the Wukong thing, which I love. You just go to controller and it goes like type A, type B, type C, whatever, and just changes the display.
Right.
It's like, oh, thank God, just let me use my controller, man. Just give me the glyphs. It's
Yeah.
You've already released it on that system.
Yeah. Well, see, there was some that was like, because I was only using a PS4 controller for a long time, and because I've never had an Xbox, and then I downloaded a game and like it literally wouldn't work with a PlayStation controller. And at the time, like I now know you can go into Steam and like fix it in Steam or whatever. But I didn't know that then. So I was like, fuck, I want to play this game. So I like went to fucking GameStop or something and bought like a cheap ass Xbox controller just to play the game or whatever.
Yeah.
So
I had an Elite 2 for a while. And I just like, I don't know, man. I mean, literally right behind your head right now is the OG PlayStation controller. And that shit has literally just gotten like analog sticks added to it. And it's pretty much unchanged. And I don't know, that just feels so much better to me than the one thumb up and then the one thumb lower on like an Xbox controller. But I mean,
yeah.
to each their own.
I mean, to me, at this point, like, it doesn't really bother me, but at the same time, it's just like, I can see it. I definitely prefer PlayStation controller over the Xbox. Like, if someone was to hand me either or, but like, now at least the Xbox controllers are small enough to fit in your hands. I remember when they were big and bulky. And
the
like,
Duke.
The Duke, yeah.
The Duke was the OG.
Well,
yeah.
even the 360 one felt weird. Like, now they actually, because like, it wasn't even that they were big and bulky, but like, the middle part was like, that friggin' wide, and then like the joysticks only had like your two fingers, like you couldn't really grip a hold of it. Like, at least with these, I feel like my hands actually fit into it now.
Yeah.
But so yeah, I don't know. Like I said, it's they're a lot better now than they used to be, for sure.
Have you played anything with a DualSense controller, like anything on PS5?
So I did play through Ghost of Tsushima. The advanced or PS5 version or whatever, updated, and it's super great. Like, at the haptic and the triggers and shit, so fucking cool.
Yeah,
I wish every game had that.
Yeah, I want to play the new Astro that came out, just because the Astrobot Playroom, the thing that shipped with every PS5 was like the introduction to it, and just being like, oh shit, like this is kind of crazy. Like, even playing Sifu, I played the shit out of it on PC as well, but like playing that. And just like listening to the music, like pulsing in the nightclub and like going down the corridor, and you feel it in your hands, and you're just like, oh, this is really cool. And then like Demon Soul, Returnal, Ratchet and Clank, like all these games came out, and then you were just like, oh my god, like this controller, like it's actually really doing something very cool. And Phil Spencer, Xbox, comes out and goes like, yeah, like we got hosed by Sony on this, like they really innovated with the controller, we need to do something. And I remember Xbox came out like a few months ago, and they're like, oh, there's a new controller, coming out. We're going to be doing big things. And it's like, well, one, none of that shit's really come to pass. And two, none of these fucking controllers are like, none of these new games are really doing anything with the controller technology. That's
the part that sucks. Cause I remember the 6-axis or whatever.
The PlayStation 4 one, right? It was,
no.
Like
the first one, right? Not, before the DualShock 2 or DualShock 3, it was 6-axis. It was a PS3. And it didn't have a rumble feature, but it was you used the tippy whatever it was supposed to be, like
the motion controls.
Motion controls, like I remember like Uncharted 1 where you had to like tilt your controller back to like arc your grenade throws and shit, and then when you walked across the bridge you had to like balance your controller or whatever to keep from falling off the bridge. And like those were supposed to be innovative, and then they were like, everybody's like, we don't really like this shit. And they're like, oh yeah, well, okay, here's your vibrating one back, here's your DualShock one back, it's totally fine. We were kidding about the 6-axis or whatever.
I remember Bloodborne, playing through Bloodborne on PlayStation 4, and like I just went to like grab a drink, and I set my controller down. My guy did like a little like emote, and I was like, oh, that's kind of interesting. I wonder if you could turn that off. And I'm pretty sure you, like, to this day, you still can't turn that off.
Oh,
And so it's like a thing when people speedrun it, like they emulate it and like disable the gyro in their controller so they don't accidentally like go into, because you can't dodge out of them like you can in Elden Ring and shit. You're
oh
like
wow.
locked into that animation and just being incredibly frustrated by that.
I was promoting my stream in some Discord, so you can be out there.
You don't have a bot to auto
I
stream it
need
to
no,
like
I
live
need
channels?
to. I gotta do
Well, that's on
that.
the server side, but yeah.
I gotta do that, and I also gotta like start promoting my Discord more as well, because it's kind of dead. Um, I I had it going for a long time, and then like I quit streaming, like I burnt out, and then so everybody that was on my Discord left, and then now that I'm back doing it again, I want to do it so I can have people like give me suggestions for what they want the what articles and stuff that may be interesting to be talked about on the podcast or whatever.
How
So
many Discord servers are you in?
I don't know, 20 or so at this point.
Yeah.
Like I try to keep it like if there's ones I'm not active in for very long, I'm just like I'm never there, so I'm just go ahead and
I do
leave
the same
and
thing.
shit. So
I do the same thing. I probably got like 20 or 30 here.
yeah.
And I just, if I'm not like, yeah, I mean, pretty much everybody gets the mute immediately.
Oh yeah. No, I turned off notifications
Yeah.
at the very beginning.
Yeah, just because, I mean, there are just so many people that like have their own
Right.
Discord, and then they have like 30 channels in there. And it's like, okay, well,
And then they also
a lot of
have
people find like one home that they get kind of nested into.
yeah.
And it's like, all right, well,
Well, it used to be the old man server for me, but then it's kind of died recently since nobody's really on it talking. Like I try to drop some memes and stuff on it every now and then, but yeah, I've been sticking with my other streamer friends that I hang out with and talk to quite a bit now. You was talking about Phil Spencer, which let me see if I can find this article here. I saw this. I thought it was pretty funny. Let me share my screen. Share audio. So, Phil Spencer. I've made the worst game, some of the worst game choice decisions. And I was like, yeah, that's fucking duh. I mean, I don't.
Did you read this interview with him?
I haven't. No, I see headlines and then I kind of live react to them on the podcast or whatever.
Yeah, the interview there is pretty good. I mean, it's just pretty much talking about like a really long career.
Yeah.
And being like, how the fuck do you predict, something happening that's going to be like PUBG or Helldivers 2 or like,
Right.
there's just going to be so many things thrown at you that you're like, yeah, we're not interested in the exclusivity, or like we're not interested in that or whatever. And then you pass that and then you go, oh shit, okay, this is like the biggest thing in the world, and I just, vetoed it a year ago. So
Right.
it looks like you got egg in your face, but I don't know. His tenure is probably not going to be super fondly remembered, but I don't know.
So I don't mind Phil Spencer. Like I'm not a I'm not a huge Xbox guy. I've always been a Sony fanboy for the longest time.
Pony pony.
But well, until I went to PC, and then I'm like, fuck it, I don't. And Sony's made some pretty weird calls in the last few years too. Let's be honest. They're not sending their best at this point. What? So I talking about this like somebody had posted on X the other day saying that Xbox hasn't made a good decision since Xbox One, which I guess since Xbox 360 was kind of the king at the time, and then they really haven't been able to catch that fire again since Xbox 360. Not really. Like they've had good games, they've had good stuff here and there, but like they haven't really rekindled things.
It feels like such a blunder to like if you tell me, okay, what first party titles are you excited for from Nintendo? I would go Zelda. I want Zelda. I want Mario. And then I'm like, okay, bam. And then you go, okay, what do you want from PlayStation? What are your first party? And I'm like, oh shit, where do I even start? I want God of War, Ghost of Tsushima. I want Ratchet and Clank. I want more Returnal. Like you could, Last of Us, fucking Uncharted. You could just go on there. But then Xbox, they're like, what are you excited for? I see the Gears 6 trailer and I go like, oh shit, like that looks really tight. I'm really excited to play that. But a few years ago when Xbox made the transition to pretty much like being a Game Pass service, and they're like, our shit's gonna come to PC and Xbox same time. I just
Right.
remember being like, well, why the fuck would I buy an Xbox then?
Yeah.
And it's the only of the current consoles that
Hello, Ventress.
I owned, and we returned after a week because we were just like, we hooked it up in the living room. We're like, well, but I can just run my HDMI cable over here and use my computer and do all this
Right.
shit. Like, I don't need to fucking worry about this. And you just load into it, and it's just ads and tiles, and you're like, where the fuck are the settings, bro?
Right.
I mean, why? If
Well,
everything's going to come to Xbox and PC at the same time, and it's $20 a month, why am I going to spend $500 on a fucking rectangle?
Well, they're howdy, Ventress. Welcome into the chat. They're talking now the PS5 Pro is going to be closer to like $700 or something like that now, and it's like people are like, we could buy that, or we could just like build a PC, because you're almost fucking there anyway.
Yeah.
And then like here's another interesting article that came out like yesterday. PlayStation is lacking original IP, says Sony's CFO. Which is weird because like then I found other stuff that they don't, like, oh, we just don't have enough original IP, and then everybody's like, oh, Jack and Daxter, Sly Cooper, Parappa the Rapper,
Yeah.
Bloodborne, Gravity Rush, countless other franchises. Well, no, that make cameo, appearances in this, but like, where are the games?
Yeah.
Where are all these games? Infamous was a big franchise series for them. Like here's a list of people that Patapon, Ratchet & Clank, Jak and Daxter, SOCOM, Resistance.
Oh my God, SOCOM.
Yeah, and Resistance and Killzone. Resistance was great. Like as like an alternate World War II alien shooter. Was Resistance
and Killzone always kind of blend together for me because like
Right.
I never really got into either of them. I just remember them.
But it's something like they're stories that they could do something with. They could completely remake them at this point. Killzone was supposed to be the Halo killer, more or less.
Halo, yeah.
Well, and it was cool. Like the first game had some really cool ideas for being a PS2 game. Yeah, the first Killzone was a PS2 game. But you had like 4 different playable characters, and they each had different paths that they could take. Like only that character could unlock these doors.
Mm.
Like there was one guy that was like because Hellghast were the bad guys, they were the enemies. There's one was like a Hellghast spy that was like genetically modified to be a Hellghast. So he could go through all like the enemy doors and stuff. He could unlock those. There was
this
a
co-op.
no, it was single player weirdly, because it was like PS2.
Yeah.
So there was like regular soldier dude. There was the Hellghast guy that could go through Hellghast doors. There was a person that was basically like a female Sam Fisher, had like invisibility cloak. She could like climb into air vents and shit. So they had like different paths that they could go down. Really cool concepts. And then like 2 and 3, they took all that stuff away basically. So yeah, Ape Escape. Yeah. Gran Turismo, Wipeout, Motorstorm, Ape Escape, Little Big Planet, Horizon, God of War, Uncharted, Sly Cooper, Bloodborne, Infamous is in there, Twisted Metal's in there. All these like they don't have enough original IP. It's like this guy clearly doesn't understand what IP they have, I guess, because they have a shit ton.
There's a lot, and they have so many good first-party studios that they purchased to put stuff out. I mean, if you go and play like Astro's Playroom, which they sent out with the early PS5, the whole thing is like a tech demo for the controller essentially, right? But you're going through like PlayStation history, like you're interacting with like the OG console and like the PS1 and the PlayStation Portable and Vita, and there's like these really cool 3D models that you see, but you're also running around and playing a little platformer, and you're coming across all of these different references to like old PlayStation IP, and they all kind of like a lot of stuff looks like another robot like you, but it'll have like Kratos's beard and axe, or
Right.
like you come across another one and he's got like Sam Fisher's goggles or Aloy's bow or whatever, and you just like without even saying a word, you're just exploring, and you're just like, it's just like this nostalgia, and you're just getting these little hits of dopamine, and you go like, holy shit, there really are so many good games that have come out from PlayStation that like I associate. And it is kind of a mind fuck these days to see like Activision promote like Crash is coming back to Xbox. And it's like, bro, if you would have told me in like 95 or 6 or whatever that like Crash Bandicoot would not be on PlayStation, I'd be like, you're insane. That's like kind of PlayStation's Mario, you know?
Well, what's even weirder now is they're talking about putting Halo, porting it to PlayStation.
And they should.
Well, that's what Xbox is talking about doing. Like, yeah, I mean, Halo may be on PlayStation, which is like, well, you're totally fucked. You might as well just stop calling yourself a console at this point. You're just a game developer.
I think they're gonna do a Sega, dude. I think they're gonna do a Sega, and I think that they're gonna do it in the age of streaming, where they're gonna make capable devices to do, to take use to make use of like cloud computing and gaming technology to like beam it straight, to your TV, so everyone can just get a little USB dongle or whatever and have their controller hold their peripheral, and you pay your subscription to use that dongle, connect it to the internet, stream games to it, and play it through, wherever, which is kind of cool, but it's also kind of like, okay, why buy any of your shit? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, and this brings up topics from back in the day. So, yeah, sometimes Strange to Seeks, Crash, Spyro, and Tomb Raider on different platforms. Yeah. So a few podcasts back, we were talking about the Senua's Sacrifice Hellblade or whatever, the second one that came out. Mm-hmm. And like how it had like on Xbox Games Pass was like 28% completion or something. Of all the people that played the game, like only like 28% actually beat the game on the Game Pass. And then people on PlayStation, it was like 40-something%. To where my argument was like, so if you spent actual money on the game, if you put your $40 down, you're more likely to finish the game. Whereas if you just are renting or have a subscription service, like, it's not for me, whatever, and they just put it away. So, like, the incentive to keep playing those games isn't there on a subscription service. To be like, you know what I mean? Like, that was kind of my proposed proposition on it. Was like,
yeah,
if you don't actually pay for the game, then what investment do you have in? Do you care? That's like with Black Myth Wukong. Like, I bought that game. I bought the deluxe edition of that game. Like, I want to beat that game, even though it's not my favorite game of the year. I'm enjoying it. I have fun with it. It's not my favorite game of the year, but I'm gonna finish it. In fact, like, I saw now that like God of War Ragnarok's coming out on PC in the middle of September. It kind of gave me that game is got me hyped to play the new God of War game. Now, I may just buy it on my PS5, catch it on sale on my PS5, just play it on there because my PS5's in here hooked to my monitors anyway. Mm-hmm. So,
did you not play the God of War games?
The first one I did. I beat the first one.
2018?
Yeah. But Ragnarok I haven't touched.
Well.
But I didn't even have a PlayStation till the spring, and then literally though I've played 2 games on my PS5. 3 games technically, I guess. Ghost of Tsushima. I just like got the upgraded HD version or whatever, and then the samurai game. What the hell was that called?
Rise of Ronin.
Rise of the Ronin. I played it. I have to
think about that.
I liked it. I still haven't beat it yet because Stellar Blade came out before I got it beat, and then
that's right. We talked about Stellar Blade a little bit.
So
hard for me to get through that one.
Was it
because of difficulty? It's just look. I'm not talking shit on people who love anime. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. It's not totally for me. And this is all right. I have a chocobo tattooed on me. Final Fantasy VII Remake, Rebirth, shaping up to be my favorite trilogy of all time. I fucking love Final Fantasy VII. There's a lot of anime shit. There's a lot of the groans and the exaggeration and the melodrama, and it's like, okay, I don't necessarily think I'm looking past that stuff to appreciate that, but it's definitely something where I go like, all right, I can take this in doses because I just love what the source is so much. I do not feel that playing Stellar Blade. I don't like look at the story. I don't look at the characters and I go, oh my God, you've endeared yourself so much to me that like this story, like I'm going to see it through to the end. I was very much like the gameplay is pretty solid. It came out at a quiet time of playing other games, but oh shit, some of that stuff was a little tough for me to get through. but really, really fun game.
Right. And I can see your point. Yeah, to me, like, so comparing Black Myth Wukong to Stellar Blade, like, to me the combat actually feels deeper in Stellar Blade. Um, even though you really only get one sword or whatever, felt like you had more opportunity. That's kind of the thing that irks me with Black Myth Wukong is like you really only have one light attack combo that you have to you juggle it around and you do dodges in between or whatever, but there's really only one light attack, and then you can work in if you spec into those your heavy attack combos.
Yeah.
With your focus points or whatever. And then the magic honestly feels clunky in the game. Like it's fast enough to do like when you freeze time or do cloud step or something like that. Those are fast enough to do in combat, but like the pluck strand thing takes forever to cast.
Yeah.
When you transform into a different character, they feel and move altogether different than what the character you're used to playing. So by the time you get used to their timing, then your fucking timers ran out and you transform back anyway. You know?
Yeah.
So it just, like I said, it feels clunky to me. And then there's no good way to fight multiple enemies. Zero way to fight multiple enemies in that game. Like you just you hold down your heavy attack, charge it up, run in behind them and smash them on the head and try to take them out as fast as possible if there's multiple enemies around. And that's
I kind of like that about the game because the fighting multiple enemies thing specifically. I totally felt that way originally. I was like, well, like there's 5 fucking people here. Everything's like a light attack combo that like is not very like sweeping arc, whatever. It got me to use that middle tree stance. I forget what it is, but it's the one where if you start your light attack and then you put that heavy into another light or whatever, or heavy into hold heavy, he'll like spin around and do that stuff, and then you spec into that so you take less damage during it. And then it also got me to check out using the other
thrust
spirits. Well, the thrust. I mean, the thrust is goated, right? It's just so good, dude. Yeah. But yeah, it got me to check out some of those other things and like actually using like not just the wailing white or whatever he is. The head smash guy gives you a bunch of defense you get at the beginning. Right. Oh, sorry. It got me to check out like a few other ones that kind of like did pulsing AoE damage or like did something to give me a little bit of breathing room. But no, I get it. The lack of combo variety in something, it's like your brain sees a game where they set you up to use face buttons on your controller to do combos, right? So you go, okay, this is kind of what I'm going into. It's, third person action adventure. It's going to be a little slashy, whatever. But then you get the lock on. You get like a little bit of dancing and dodging. And you go, okay, I kind of want to make this a little bit more unique. And yeah, I do get that. I don't want to spoil anything in the game. You're going to get some mix up stuff for your light attacks, which is a huge breath of fresh air because I was right there with you. I hope at so. Like 16 hours or 20 hours or whatever I was when I finally started to get that stuff. And I was like, oh, okay. I think that game kind of doesn't, and they have patched some of it. It doesn't do the best job of in those little tool tips kind of explaining what everything is about.
Yeah.
It'll be like, oh, in thrust move of rising fall when the rains dance hits square, and you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And you go up 2 abilities and you go, okay, this activates raining fall, but then this one is wait, what? But what the shit is this?
Well, it's like when you see through an attack or whatever, it's like, so when you time it right is what that should mean. Like,
but it never tells you what seeing through is.
No,
so you're looking up at abilities. You go, well, how do I activate that? Yeah. It's timing that heavy attack. I think if you have a focus point, you have to time the heavy attack.
Right, as they're attacking you.
Like a parry, yeah. And it's the most pronounced on, I think, the thrust. At least it was for me. Because as soon as, the thrust ability's heavy attack in there is an actual dodge backwards. And then you have to do it again to follow through. So it's a spacer. And when you have that thing specced out, it's like, oh, if you do space the attack correctly, then you don't use any stamina and, whatever.
Right.
So I think it's definitely some translation stuff. But I really enjoyed it. I think Wukong and Stellar Blade are both kind of games where I'm like, I'm definitely going to keep going. I don't love everything about it, but I am enjoying myself. And I definitely enjoyed Wukong more.
Right.
I give Wukong probably like a 9.2.
Well, I say like I said, I gave it between a 6.5 and a 7. And I gave Stellar Blade like between a 7.5 and an 8. Like just depending on my mood. Like I haven't finished Black Myth Wukong. Like the last of it could blow me away. I don't know. Um, I found the spear that you sub out for the staff. Did you find it?
In
Black
Wukong.
Myth in Wukong, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about, mixing up your
Yeah.
combos. Okay, so you have come across that.
Yeah. I do have the spear already, which is like it's an interesting weapon, but like I don't know. Like I also have the blacksmith area or whatever where you can upgrade your armor. Can you upgrade your weapons eventually too? Because like you try to just get the best way to up. You want the most damage for the most part. So
it's weird. So like you do like side areas, and they're like kind of like side stories, sub stories, or whatever, and then like it will. I don't ever remember getting like a notification because it'll be like you got this key item, this consumable, this craftable, or whatever, and you're like, great, what the fuck is that?
right,
And
right.
then and then you see like the little red dot on your weapons, and you go, okay, I can like upgrade or craft something or whatever. And since I did so much of that side stuff, I couldn't exactly narrow down where every single thing came from. But it was mostly like doing that side stuff that would be like, in that area too, when you went to go defeat that side boss, if you did the Buddha eyes or whatever, and you fought that big rock golem, it was like you got a new staff, and it did more damage, and it gave you defense. I think for that area.
Well, I still got all the Buddha eyes. So I didn't.
Yeah, you gotta go fight that guy.
Well, I fought a rock golem.
Oh, there's another one.
I guess so, yeah, because I still have the eyes in my. I wondered. I was like, oh, so I missed something here. Shoot, too.
Yeah.
there's also a frog boss in the first area, which I just totally missed. I watched another streamer fought a frog boss.
Oh yeah.
In the original area.
There's a frog boss in every area.
Yeah.
That's kind of like a running thing. Yeah.
I just missed it. I missed him in the first. Missed him in the third one too. Apparently, the snow. I didn't find him there.
Yeah, those guys beat brakes off my shit a couple times.
So it's definitely interesting. Ventura said something about they didn't like the gun in the combat or whatever, but at least it gave you some kind of ranged option. That's another thing and I don't know if Wukong gives you anything, but like you have no ranged options, and you have everybody that flies across the fucking map to shoot you from range, and you just run across there and hit them again, and then they fly back. Like I fought the stupid dangling hand spider thing. That motherfucker, like you'd hit it twice and then it'd just go across the fucking room again.
You got a couple fun things coming up, friend.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
You got a couple because I totally get where you're coming from, and there are a couple of spirits that you can use. It's another thing, experimenting with other stuff that will give you kind of like there was one that was like a wolf who like threw a couple daggers. It was super short cooldown. I don't think that the bonus was great, but it was a godsend to have on some enemies that were like flying or there's some trash mobs coming up that are kind of garbage, and you're just like, I'm just chasing this guy for like 20 minutes, man.
Yeah.
And that was the first time I checked out thrust stance, and I was like, oh, I can just charge this shit and it goes super far away. Like, okay, yeah, I'm absolutely
okay. Maybe I need to mess with, because I had thrust stance, and then like because you can't move with it. You know what I mean? Like you
can't do the running and charge.
Yeah, you can't do run and charge with it or whatever. And then like even the other stance that you raise up in the air, it has a pretty good range if you charge it all the way up. Like it swings way pretty wide or whatever. But yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I need to play with it more. I've just been trying to get through it. I haven't put a lot of points into it. Like I went all the way down my first staff stance skill tree. I went all the way down my stamina skill tree. But like I barely put anything into the magic, just like a point here and there or whatever. I don't know, man. Like there's just there's a lot to the game for having so little in the game. I guess I don't know. It's weird to say.
If you get to a point where you're like, head down, I just want to finish this game. Yeah, I spent $60-$70 on it, bro. Just put points into pluck. That shit.
Oh right,
dude. I very specifically like did not use it. Because I was like, this is just trivializing shit.
Yeah, I've got it. I thought about that.
I mean, bro,
right now,
like, if you're banging your head, just pluck them, dude. Just get plucked. It's so much fun. The Stellar Blade gun thing I thought was a little bit interesting. It's weird. You go, there's like 3 areas that you go, and it's like you can only use
Yeah,
the
you're
gun or
yeah.
whatever, and then you have the armor that like boosts it. So it's cool. It's like, okay, it's not so brain dead. I kind of do that. But I feel like once you got those like shotgun upgrades, dude, it's just get fucked, bro.
Yeah,
Because if you get
shotgun.
close to me, you just pull that shotgun out. And the first time I shot a boss with it, I was like, I was gonna vomit. I was like, how much fucking damage does this thing do?
I never used the gun in like actual boss fights. Like I'd always, try to do dodge parries and all
Yeah.
the teleport around and shit was really cool. I thought, and now I thought some of the animations and Wukong's got like the cool like his staff shrinks behind his ear and he pulls it out
Yeah.
or whatever, and all the little animations they do. Also thought that was really cool. And Stellar Blade, where like her sword was her fucking hair clip, and like it would go back into her hair and like
Yeah.
or whatever. Like I always thought those animations, like those were really awesome. Which, like I said, has me excited to play the new God of War game because the first game, so where it's like there's no range, there's no this or that. Like God of War to me, like you could fucking you got multiple enemies coming at you, you fucking throw your axe and you just pin a fucking dude to the wall. Like you fucking stay there and then you turn around and beat the shit out of him with your fists. You beat, you fight these other guys. And then, like, right as you want to finish him off, you call your axe back to you and then finish him. It's just like it flowed so fucking well, and it worked out as like a puzzle mechanic where you'd have to like fucking throw it around and like bounce it around, markers and shit. Like, I don't know. To me, like God of War definitely had the full game experience when it came to like
its own.
Yeah, when it came to that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to play it now. Like. I really haven't been excited, but like after playing Black Myth Wukong, I'm like, yeah, I want to play God of War now. Like I really fucking do. But yeah, the gun idea, yeah, it's cool. And like I said, I don't know if there's a. They could have done the fucking bow staff the same way. Like they could have gave it more because it's like a mythical fucking weapon. It's like there's points. Well, it's a very opening sequence or whatever when dude holds his axe up and it grows like as big as the fucking mountain or whatever. That bow staff can do the same thing. Like it's literally that kind of like it can grow to be like as large as a fucking mountain or whatever. He can literally slam it down. It's like a giant column that he can like drop on top of fucking enemies and stuff. Now, would that make it most boss? Yeah, it would be pointless to do against bosses or whatever. But like, there was so much you could do with the bow staffs. I just thought, I wish they'd have done more traversal and stuff with it or whatever. You could like pole vault across the fucking giant areas or whatever.
You gotta leave some for the sequel, though, right? Like leave them wanting. Like get them coming back for a little bit more.
Leave more for that paid DLC, I guess.
I'm stoked, man. I'm stoked.
Yeah,
I can't wait for the DLC. It's probably gonna be great. I mean, I'm kind of casually doing a new game plus playthrough right now of Wukong. Just like every now and then, I'll pick it up for a little bit because when you spend so much time on one game in a short amount of time, it's like, oh, all right, okay, I've done all this.
I'm bouncing back and forth. I've been playing Once Human with some peeps. It's pretty fun. It's pretty fun. It's very, I don't know. It's not very difficult in any kind of way. Not really.
That's the Division Secret Wars crafter one, right?
Yeah. It's like a alternate universe with aliens and shit, and survival craft.
Butterflies in jars.
Yeah.
Okay, I played through a little bit of it.
Yeah, it's not bad, but it's all like find better weapons, find better stuff to make better weapons, and this and that. So.
Well, I mean, but you're playing it with friends, and that's like the main thing, right?
Yeah.
That's the multiplayer,
Yeah, you can go in and like do like boss dungeon raids and stuff with other people or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward. So this weekend, this Saturday, I have a big collab planned. I don't know if it's going to go through because I think everybody's going to bail on me again. But I had like a 9-person collab scheduled for this Saturday to play Deceit. I don't know if you ever played Deceit. So
I did. It's in my Steam library. I think I played it like twice.
Yeah, this is Deceit 2, so the sequel came out, but they're both free to play. And I wanted to get like it's up to 9 people, so I wanted to get like a full crew of people to play with. Like play it, you can play like online or with bots or not. Well, I guess just with other online people or whatever. But like having a full group of like a full Discord fucking group or whatever playing it, I thought would be awesome. But I don't know. We'll see if everybody bails on me or not. Like it's kind of looking like nobody's gonna join, so we'll see what happens.
A lethal company thing. I feel like it's so much easier to organize around like 3 or 4 people instead of trying to get 9.
Yeah, I just thought it'd be fun to do like a Among Us style where everybody's lying to each other and being monsters and eating each other and stuff. And like the podcast, I've had up to like 7 people on the podcast before, so I thought I get at least 7 people from the podcast to join, and now everybody's kind of dipping on me. I don't know. Maybe I'm too opinionated. Maybe they don't want to podcast with me. I need to find more based individuals to podcast with.
How often you're doing it every week?
Every Thursday, yeah.
Every Thursday.
Yeah, this is episode. So this is the 37th week in a row we've gone. I missed 1 week, and that was like 4th of July weekend. Like 4th fell on a Thursday, so I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna podcast in. I'm gonna be out drinking, and I was on the lake drinking beer. So, yeah, I mean, and I don't know. It's just fun to sit and like I find these news articles I look at all week, and it's fun to share them with my friends and stuff. So. There's more. I got more stuff to talk about too. So the PlayStation thing I thought was pretty interesting. Oh, we don't have enough IPs. You're not looking hard enough, apparently.
Yeah. Right.
We've got the Rocksteady thing with the Suicide Squad kills the Justice League. Talking about layoffs because it's not performing well, and it was another one of those games. It was like. If you don't like it, don't play it. And everybody's like, yeah, we don't like it. We don't want to play it. I don't know if it was full of bugs or not. I'm not a huge. I had a whole rant about the Harley Quinn fucking boss lady main character shit. Like I'm just tired of it. I'm over this fucking shit. Like, go back to just regular Harley Quinn. Did
you play the OG Arkham games?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I love them.
Yeah, me too.
I love.
I thought it was a damn shame that Rocksteady did this. Well, and the thing is, like, they did the Gotham Knights that didn't really get off the ground either. Like, I don't think it
wasn't Rocksteady.
Was it not Rocksteady?
I don't think so.
I thought it was set in the same universe as Arkham or whatever.
So it's like pseudo set in the same universe,
Yeah. So is this game.
Just get to do the multiverse shit whenever they fucking want to, and they get to go like, oh yeah, it is, but it isn't.
Yeah. This game was supposedly set in the Arkham universe as well, and it's just like, I don't know, man. The games as a service has been pretty much going downhill since they first came out. I mean, like, Destiny was kind of the first games as a service game, and then like everything else since then has done less and less. Division came out, didn't do as good as Destiny, and then even the Avengers game was fun. I played it, but at the same time, like, it didn't really pan out either.
Which is crazy because Division and Division 2 were both, I mean, I think pretty great. Like I love them. The first Division I played on PlayStation 4, and then Division 2, it was on PC. It was just like looking at those games and then seeing how crafted they were and going like, how the fuck is the Snowdrop engine rendering this on my PlayStation 4 right now, or like on my PC? Like they just the graphical fidelity of those games is just insane, even by today's standards.
Yeah,
and they were fun. They just got into that thing where it's like, well, we need to have like all your time, and I feel like it was pre-battle pass in games where it was like, well, how do we extend grind time? And it was like, well, you make enemies spongier and like harder to kill, and then no targeted loot was kind of, I don't know, somebody. Me, I came from playing World of Warcraft in games that were like, okay, loot up and get gear to get more powerful. And in that game, it's like, okay, yes, you have your percentage chance on each boss for this piece of gear to drop, but like, where you're going to find that gear that you want, right? Like, you just got to overcome that obstacle every time, and you got to do it over and over or whatever. And then I played, games like Destiny, which is a little less targeted in some instances, but Division. And it's like, oh, you just go and you just get shit, and then you get what you get, and fuck you. And I was like, wait, like, what? But how do I get like that really cool thing? And it's like, oh, there are some things that are, like the exotics or whatever they call them in Division. It's like, yeah, those are kind of targeted. You go to this area and you do these things and you can get them. But for the most part, it's like, you're just kind of mishmashing this shit together to have a build and then have fun. And then it's like, fuck, how many hours is it going to take to have this thing where I think is on paper is going to be fun, and then you spend all the time and get it and you go, oh, it's actually garbage.
Right.
So like, you know, you see again, like, I mean, Breakpoint, Ghost Recon Breakpoint did that shit, you know?
Yeah.
Wildlands was great, and then Breakpoint came out, and it was like, wow, you improved on all these things, but what is this gear score shit? Like, I don't want to use this FAMAS. I'm going to use this HK416 or like whatever I saw in Zero Dark 30 or some shit. Like, I want my tactical guy to look like this, and I don't want to have to use this fucking grip because it's meta or because it's a blue rare that's better than my uncommon, you know.
Well, you can turn off gear score. Like, I don't know if
you can now.
Yeah.
I mean, you can now, but it took like a year and a half to get to that point.
Right.
But I mean, back to Arkham. Sorry.
No. Totally fine.
I love the Arkham games, and I remember hearing about this game coming out and being like, I don't really care.
Right.
And then, you know, it came closer to coming out, and it was Warner Brothers Montreal, and I was like, wow, Warner Brothers games, you know, oh, okay, probably not going to be the most exciting thing for me to play, whatever. And it just got closer and closer, and book by the cover, man. It doesn't seem like a lot of people were wrong. I haven't personally played it. I have no desire to. That's a game, though, that if it was on Game Pass, yeah, I might bullshit with a couple friends and load it up.
And actually
play it for an afternoon.
Got all the way down to free.
Yeah, I heard Amazon, right? Didn't they give it away?
Like 2 or 3 months after launch, it was free on a couple places, and then
yes,
you know, and they've got like they've done like these patches or expansions or whatever, this like DLC rollout shit where they come out with like a weirdly androgynous Mrs. Freeze or whatever. They brought a Joker that was pretty flamboyant from like a different universe into the game that you could play as, but not Mark Hamill's Joker because he's dead. Like, so I don't know, man. It was just really weird. There's a whole thing where, you know, there's this whole speech where they've got Batman strapped to a chair. He's all bloody and shit, and then Harley Quinn shoots him in the face or whatever. And like, I don't know, man. It's just very weird. Very people enjoy it, I guess, but like it just didn't sell well. And like, let's be honest, like you didn't target fans. You didn't. I mean, if you had the licensing to Superman and fucking Batman, Wonder Woman were all in this fucking game, you had the license and freedom to do that, but you chose to make them the bad guys and make these fucking anti-hero thing cool.
It's a weird choice.
Yeah.
It's a strange choice.
Yeah, it's just weird to me.
Yeah.
And then you get like King Shark wearing like a Superman outfit or whatever. Because I guess if you steal their clothes, you get their powers or fucking something in this game. I don't know. It's weird. Like there's a weird.
That's video game logic.
Yeah. It's weird video game logic, I guess. Yeah, for sure. So, but there was that game, you know. Then, of course, the big thing that happened this week was the Concord being basically will go offline tomorrow. The servers will shut down tomorrow. The game was out for all of 10 days or something like that before it goes offline. Which everybody was like Concord fans. It's like, dude, there was like peak. I don't know.
Concord fan.
Yeah. It was very small. Like if you look at the Steam charts, there wasn't a lot of people playing. Well, see, here's the thing. Like it was also community managers, devs, and all these people came out and was like, oh, well, you know, we went to all these things and you're supposed to like these things. And people were like, we don't like them. Like your characters don't look interesting. Yeah. The illustrious. Yeah. The illusionary modern audience. Let's put it that way. Because they never show up to actually buy these games. So nobody played it. And then there was like a $40 price tag where Overwatch is free to play. Yeah, there's a lot of things that, you know, people didn't like about this game. A lot of people said the characters looked boring. Nobody wanted to draw fan art of characters, which, you know, kind of gives you a thing about like, they don't like the characters or whatever. But let's be honest,
somebody is drawing some intense Rule 34.
I think that Rule 34 was blank for Concord.
Oh no.
Which is why I say like the only reason Overwatch is still even you know relevant is because of the porn. The porn is the only thing keeping Overwatch going at this point. But yeah, man. So yeah, they've all been pulled from all the online stores. Full refunds after 10 days.
which is almost unheard of
Yeah.
from PlayStation. I think the only time I've ever heard of like a mass refund from PlayStation was Cyberpunk, when they did it came out on PS4 and the console versions.
Right. Well, they pulled it.
Unplayable.
Well, they pulled it from
They pulled
PS4.
it from the store. Yeah.
Well, and they were giving refunds to Helldivers too after the PSN debacle with Helldivers 2.
But on PC.
Yeah, true, on PC. I don't know if on PlayStation you already had to have your PSN account there.
Exactly.
But like if you bought it on Steam and then all of a sudden you needed a PSN account and people were like, "Yeah, I don't want to fucking do that." Which I can understand, some people don't. I mean, like to me, I already have a PSN account. It doesn't really bother me
It didn't really affect me.
But at the same time, like I can understand other people. And then Helldivers, man, that's another thing. Helldivers has been handled so poorly for such a fucking hype game. Everybody was fucking hyped about that game.
I loved it.
And then all of a sudden, like community managers and the PlayStation deal, and then like it was not available in these certain countries anymore. And then they kept nerfing weapons. There was more kerfuffle like a month ago or like 2 or 3 weeks ago where it was like, oh, yeah, everybody's like enjoying playing these weapons, so we're gonna nerf them because they're having too much fun. The fucking the like CEO guy came out and said that, and everybody's like, "What? Fucking why? Why? Why would you do that?" They nerfed fire weapons, and then they dropped a fire war bond or whatever. All the weapons were fire, and then they nerfed all the fire like damage and shit like before that.
Even Concord's segment on your little podcast got breezed over.
Quickly. Right, yeah. It's already forgotten.
It's
already forgotten. Like it's just so. Yeah, it was crazy. I did find this. Kotaku actually wrote an article, which is surprising. This comes from Kotaku. These 9 live service games that launched and died in record time. I thought it'd be funny to see what else came out. So
I don't even know what Crossfire X is.
I don't either. I don't know what any of these games are. This is the Crossfire X, 15 months.
Okay, South Korea and China. Okay.
Free to play military sim, South Korea and China.
Lawbreakers.
I remember hearing about Lawbreakers, but yeah, I don't know if I ever played it.
I can't ever hear this game mentioned, and for some reason I hear it mentioned very regularly. I can't ever hear it mentioned without thinking of or hearing Matthew McConaughey from Magic Mike.
Oh, for real?
When he goes, they're doing the strippers, and he's like, "Well, state of Texas says you cannot touch, but you can look," and he goes, "I think I see a lot of lawbreakers in here tonight." I fucking cannot, dude. Every time this game comes up, I always hear Matthew McConaughey saying that.
Gears of War creator Cliff Bleszinski's sci-fi cops versus robbers FPS looked cool and had some neat ideas, letting players manipulate gravity and shoot behind themselves while running. Unfortunately for them, the Lawbreakers just never found an audience large enough to support it, so just after 13 months, it was removed.
Yeah.
Was this like an Xbox?
No, it was PC too. His big push for
I didn't have a PC. I didn't have a PC at this time, so like I was only.
He was an OG Epic guy, and so they made Unreal Tournament and stuff. And
okay.
His big push was to make something like visceral, fast arena, and spinning it around, and he didn't want it to be burdened down by like single player gameplay, and he was like, that's all just multiplayer focus, like go. And it just never really caught its audience. I think Overwatch just had such a stranglehold on everything at that point, and rightly so, because it was amazing. It was just a hard time to break into it. And yeah. Babylon's
Fall.
Square Enix, right?
Yeah, attempt to creating a popular AAA online RPG franchise, but it was a big flop, with many players complaining about terrible microtransactions, blurry and ugly graphics. Just 2 weeks after release, Square Enix had to put out a statement. The game wasn't dead. A few months later, just one person still playing on PC. Square Enix officially killed it just a few days shy of its 1-year anniversary.
Yep.
361 days. Apex Legends Mobile, 11 months. I remember when this shut down. And there's like an original mobile character that never got brought to.
Never got ported.
Never got brought to the actual game.
I think they had some like TF2, Titanfall 2 weapons that were in there too. Yeah, I don't know. Just weird. I don't really.
There's Titanfall. There's like the Mozambique's a Titanfall weapon. The 501. Yeah. I mean they all are, but yeah. Rumbleverse.
I did play this.
I didn't play this one. Most battle royale games feature guns. Rumbleverse is Sadly, Rumbleverse was shut down by Epic after just 6 cents. That was Epic.
Yeah.
201 Days. Radical Heights. This game. What
That
is
was
this?
the Radical Heights was
Cliff
the same
Bleszinski
production
again.
company that did Lawbreakers.
Yeah.
And like they knew that they were shutting up and they wanted to find a way to kind of capitalize on the battle royale format, and Lawbreakers wasn't going to lend itself well to that, so they did Radical Heights. I remember watching, you know, like Shroud and a bunch of other streamers play this, and I mean it was a real tiny spark. It did not stick around that long.
Yeah. They're 89
Oh,
days.
shit, 89 days. Yeah.
89 days. The day before, so this came out last year. Died this year.
It was a scam though. Come on.
Yeah, it was a scam. And now Concord, 14 days. Oh, there's one that beat it. The Culling, 8 days.
I don't remember that.
I don't remember this Culling too, but 8 days. Holy shit. So there is one that actually was online shorter than Concord's 14 days.
Honestly, I didn't think that the day before lasted even that long.
Yeah, it just says December 7th to January 22nd. I think it was like betas and shit. Like you couldn't even actually get the game or whatever. I think they just kept lying, saying, you know, this was going to be this or whatever.
Damn.
Culling 2 is a survival battle royale game. It was planned to be bigger and better sequel to the first Culling, which was an early stab at the genre Fortnite and PUBG helped popularize. However, the game was a mess, and it didn't stand out among other similar shooters, so instead of fixing it, the studio behind the game shut it down, removed it from consoles and Steam, refunded everyone their money. The studio had to return to the OG Culling to improve it. That version of the game was rebooted later and eventually shut down. So, it's funny because these games that aren't on here, like Payday 3 also had a very shitty launch.
Still going, though.
Still going. They've actually ported in. So I played it. I actually played it early access, and then like it had so many like server issues, like you couldn't even play for like the first 2 weeks. You couldn't even get on to play. And then once we finally were able to get on, like me and a couple of the friends were playing it, we like perfected every map, like completely silent, walked out with all the money, didn't set any alarms off, and we're like, well, I don't know why we want to play this anymore now because we kind of fucking did it. You know what I mean? Like, so
did you play a lot of Payday 2?
No, I didn't. I got into Payday 2 right before Payday 3 was coming out and played a lot of the stuff that was on Payday because I owned Payday 2 for a long time. I just never even downloaded it.
Most people saw it for like $2, you know, on
Steam sale. Now they're saying that it's like Crime Boss, Rockaway City or whatever that has like the weird like Chuck Norris and shit. Like it's like Payday basically.
Michael Madsen and Kim Basinger and just a bunch of weird celebrity. Michael Rooker, I know, is in it.
Yeah,
it's so
Danny Trejo.
Strange. Yeah,
like, they're saying it like it actually is like a better playing Payday game where you do heists and shit.
I mean, I played Payday 2 on release, and it was one of, you know, I had friends that played it, so we were all playing together. And it was really fun. It was you know, definitely busted in some aspects, and we had our fun, you know, put in a bunch of hours, whatever. And then I remember I had some friends that were playing it, you know, a year or two later, and I was like, oh, let's see what's up with this. I remember having a good time, and I went to the Steam page for it, and looking at the DLC, it was like looking at a train simulator or a farm simulator. I mean, there were just like dozens of line items, and they were ranging, you know, from like $4 to $20. Right? I was like, wait, what the fuck is going on?
Right.
And then you read the reviews, and you'd be like, people were just like, yeah, after the first DLC launched, it was just like they had guns and like all this stuff behind it, and it's just garbage. Don't even fucking bother it. And I ended up playing it for a couple of times, and I did it like I streamed it, and I got randoms in my game, and this one dude like found me. And I didn't say I was streaming. He like found me on Twitch and then like subscribed to me, and I was like, oh, cool, yeah. And then he traded me like $250 like worth of like tradable like Steam items or whatever. And I was like, this is so fucking weird. And I was like, oh, I gotta like block this guy and like remove myself from this and like deny all these trades. It was just so strange, dude. I don't know what to make of Payday, but
yeah,
I heard that gameplay loop just doesn't really speak to me, I guess.
It was fun. Like I said, the third one, the combat felt much better. Like as far as like it felt like a really good first person shooter. And then so the third one fixed a lot of the things that the second one, because like the second one, you could not do anything until you put your mask on. And you could walk around and you could observe or whatever, but you couldn't interact with fucking nothing until you put your mask on. Well, the third one, as long as you didn't get caught or whatever, you could like pick locks and stuff without your mask on, and you could like crawl around. So there's times where you had one person that was, they put their mask on, and they'd walk around and like they'd take out guards or whatever that would come up to you, and then the other people without their masks on could just walk around freely, basically, as long as they weren't in like an illegal area. So the big bank or whatever, one person's downstairs bagging up the money, two people plain clothes, throw bags over our shoulders, we just walk out the front door, walk around, throw them in our van, and walk. So if you do everything perfectly and like unlock everything in a way where you don't ever have to put your mask on and shoot it out, you could do it. So that's what we did. We just like perfected all these modes. Yeah.
No alarm. Yeah.
Which was fun, but like I said, after that, you're like, well, now what? Okay. Now what do we do?
Easy money.
Yeah. Now what do we do? So,
one of the things I remember about Payday 2 is like drilled in, because I want to say that they were like Swedish, so there's obviously a little bit of a translation thing. But the cops, they had their lines and stuff that they would scream out, and one of the times that the cop would always say, he would go, "Hard contact, hardest ever." And it was just like this like strange translation thing that kind of always like fucking tickled me about that game. Yeah, super funny.
Were you a Borderlands fan at all?
So the first Borderlands I got, and I was so thankful that I was like really good friends with the people who worked at the GameStop, because I got it, I played it, and I took it back later that same day.
Oh no!
And they were like, "What?" And I was like, "I just can't fucking do it, man." And it was something to do with the fact that like, really the only shooter that I played on consoles was generally like Call of Duty, and because I grew up playing Counter-Strike, and
right.
Just like all these games on my PC, so like mouse and keyboard always just felt way better to me, and still does. So I still don't play a lot of shooters, but I took it back, and then Borderlands 2, I played the whole thing with friends, and I really enjoyed it.
Right.
It's same thing. It's a little cringe sometimes, and you're like, okay, whatever. But who cares? This shit is over in 5 minutes. If you can't suck it up, whatever. They're fun. Right. Yeah.
I enjoyed them. I played the first one. I think it came out on like PS Plus or whatever at one point in time. And me and a buddy of mine platinumed it, went through the whole thing co-op, which was nice because there wasn't a lot of like campaign co-ops on PlayStation that you could play, which is why I really dug Borderlands. Borderlands 2, same thing. Like I went through it. Like I think I went through it with every character or whatever. Like I played it over and over and over again.
Yeah, I played that one a couple times too.
Yeah, and then 3 came out. I played through 3. It was super cringe. Like the millennial writing was super like corny ass jokes or whatever. And then they come out with the movie this year.
Yeah, I haven't met a fucking person that's seen it.
Yeah, nobody did.
Did you?
No, I didn't watch it. I wasn't gonna watch it. I when I saw the trailer months ago, I was like, nobody's gonna watch this shit. It is terrible casting. Turns out Eli Roth didn't give a fuck about the story or whatever. He's like, oh yeah, man, I can make a movie about this. Basically, and it's like, okay, here's fucking millions of dollars. Go make this movie.
Yeah.
Let's hire Kate Blanchett as like the fucking lead character, the 28-year-old siren, played by a 55-year-old woman, or whatever. And then
definitely strange casting.
Turned out like, me and Bush argued about, wow, she's a great actress or whatever. She could really bring something to the role. It's like she didn't give a fuck about it. Because everybody that I've seen that actually like all the reviews and stuff that actually watches, like she fucking phoned in every single fucking line. She did not give 2 shits about this movie whatsoever.
The exact opposite. I've heard she's like the shining star of it, and her performance is what makes the whole thing bearable. But
I don't know. I heard it was bad.
I'll probably out of like a morbid curiosity.
Well, it's already coming. It's already coming to digital. Like this month, it'll be on digital.
Are you gonna pick it up? You gonna rent it?
Well, we'll see what streaming platform that fucker's on.
Plex.
Maybe if it's on like fucking Amazon Prime or whatever, maybe.
It'll be on Plex. It'll be on somebody's Plex.
Oh my god, fuck. Yeah, I don't know. It was just like I watched some reviews or whatever when it first launched. I watched some reviews and like I gave my 2 cents. Like I read through like all these reviews or whatever, and I was telling a friend of mine, I was like, look, I said, like, I'm a pretty big Borderlands fan. I played a bunch of the games. Like a lot of the criticisms they have was like there's no stakes in the game or whatever, like or the movie, like nobody's like, it seems like they're in danger and they're just perfectly fine. You know, like they don't really ever get hurt or nothing. I was like, see, it seems to me like, why not? Like they said at one point in time, it looks like Roland, Kevin Hart, you know, was going to get killed or whatever. Why not let him get killed and then like have him be revived at the fucking revival thing? And then like the stakes is like he looks at his fucking Echo and is like, oh, all of his money's gone. He's like, well, I can't die again because I don't have enough money to be rezzed again or whatever. So that gives you some stakes to the game.
Dude, do you want a writing credit for the sequel?
Well, I'd have to like rewrite the fucking first one to make it better too. So they make Tina the fucking MacGuffin. She's the fucking magical key to everything or whatever, and they're trying to capture her. Well, the big gripe about it was every time these people come across them, they unload all this ordnance on them that could very easily kill this girl or whatever when they're supposedly trying to like take her back or whatever because she's the key. Well, once again, I was like, okay, cool. Well, make it now where like her fucking DNA is locked to this one certain thing, so if they do kill her, she'll respawn back at the fucking boss's hideout or whatever. So they're trying to kill her. Now they literally have to like keep her alive. You know, make those stakes because if she dies, she goes back to them. So they're trying to kill her. Like, I don't know. To me, those are just like some simpler ideas that could have made the story fucking better.
You have maybe put more thought into the Borderlands movie than
Eli Roth did. Yeah, no, for
maybe.
sure.
I mean, maybe. I don't know. I haven't seen it. I didn't really load up a Borderlands game for the story.
Right.
You know, I just did it to shoot fun guns and get a chuckle every now
Yeah.
and then.
And that was definitely the thing I liked about it the most. Like the guns were crazy. Like especially in 3, they get even fucking wilder. Where you can, I had one gun you throw it as it reloads and it just blows up into like multiple guns that fly around and shoot shit as you reload. Like
that was like one of the funniest things I ever like I just randomly saw in a game was in Borderlands 2 just playing and we're going to reload. My guy just like throws the gun and I was like,
yeah,
what the fuck? And then you read and it's like, oh yeah, this manufacturer is like a piece of shit. And instead of like reloading the guns, you're just supposed to throw them away.
Yeah, you throw them away and then like another one rematerializes or whatever. And then they just turn into grenades. So basically the Tediore, they're all Tediore guns. And you throw them and each one of them has a different, like some of them just blow up. Some of them like blow up and like frag out or whatever. And then some of the legendary ones, there's one, you throw it's a shotgun and you throw it and it just like seeks around and however many bullets were left in the magazine, it will just seek around and fly and shoot people as it flies around. Like it's just, they're ridiculous.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean that's, I don't know. Then they teased Borderlands 4, but after Borderlands 3, a lot of people have a pretty bad taste in their mouth because the writing was super duper cringe. They killed off a bunch of main characters in 3. And they weren't justified deaths. They weren't, I don't know. The story just wasn't very good in 3. 2 was good. Like, Handsome Jack was a great villain. 3, you literally play as, like, 2 twins that are, like, fucking TikTok stars. That's what the fuck they are. They're like, oh, welcome in, fam. We're blah, blah, blah. Yeah, see? Venturous knows. Borderlands 3 was ass. Yeah.
Maybe it was ahead of its time, you know?
Yeah.
Before TikTok.
Yeah, and Ava, so there's a little girl character that's, like, just this fucking obnoxious brat character, super entitled. Like, oh my god, there's a Maya, the character from Borderlands 2 that you can play as, the playable siren, is like basically watching over this girl. She doesn't listen to anything Maya says, and then like Maya dies for Ava, and then Ava's just like, I can't believe you let Maya die. And it's like, bitch, it was your fault she died. Like, she told you not to fucking come down to the planet, and then you come down to the planet, and she dies protecting you, you stupid ass. And then it's like that the whole fucking game. It's just, oh my god, so fucking annoying.
Did you play the Tales from the Borderlands? The Telltale?
No, I didn't. And I'm also pissed about that game too, because fuck that game.
Why?
Because they kill off fucking Scooter in that game. God damn it. They don't even kill him off in a fucking main line. They kill his son bitch off in a fucking side. Fuck that. Fuck that series.
Play the game, man.
Nah.
The games are great, dude.
I played through. I played through The Wolf Among Us,
which is one of my favorite games of all time.
Yeah, I definitely enjoyed it. It got me into the Fable series. Like I've read through.
And also same for me.
I read through
probably like top 5 games.
Yeah. I'm excited. There's supposed to be a second one coming out.
There's a trailer for it, but it has been delayed a long.
Yeah,
long
I mean,
time.
shit. It was 2015 when I played Wolf Among Us, and I think it had already been out for a while at that time too. When I got into it.
God, the Wolf Among Us. I want to say. Before I look it up, I'm gonna say 2014.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I know. I played it in 2014. Wolf Among Us.
October 11th, 2013. Okay.
2013.
2013.
Okay. So yeah, I played it when I was in Texas, and I played it on my tablet, of all things, or whatever.
I think I played it as the episodes came out, but I could be mistaking that and The Walking Dead season 2.
See, that was the one I couldn't get into the Walking Dead Telltale game.
Oh, God,
I played through like the first couple chapters, and that just wasn't for me. Wolf Among Us I liked better. But yeah, I don't really like those kinds of games. That slow kind of point and click adventure stuff, story mode. I don't know. They're just not for me, I guess. Not a huge fan of them. Wolf Among Us was like the one that was like, oh, this is actually really cool. Like the lore of the Fable series was really, it was new and
really
new and interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like new and interesting without being new.
Right.
Which I think is really cool.
Yeah, you know
characters, and you go, oh, you're doing something really interesting with
yeah,
that.
Yeah, you know Big Bad Wolf, you know Snow White, you know all of these it was it Eminent Domain? No, what is it? Is it Eminent Domain or no public domain?
I know what you're trying to say.
Public domain, right?
Yeah.
They're all public domain characters that can be. You can write a fucking Big Bad Wolf story and produce it. Like there's no laws against it or whatever.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, it was really cool. I don't know. I haven't touched on my Google Play, whatever. Like I have the first like probably 10 graphic novel volumes, like the big whatever ones. The ones that are like $20 a piece or whatever.
Yeah. The collections. I actually had. That game got me to buy, I think, 3 of the collection volumes, like the hardcover. Like they were not inexpensive.
I paid for the digital ones because I was like reading them on my phone. I'm like, oh, this is fucking sweet, you know.
I thought it'd be really cool to own like a physical piece of it. And a friend of mine, like, was like, hey, oh yeah, you really look into these? Can I borrow them? And I go, sure. You just like take care of them. And that dude just like left the state. Like a month.
Oh no!
And I was like, bro, come on.
Yeah,
that's fucked up, man. I never rebought him, but yeah.
I'm definitely
sorry about that.
I'm definitely curious. So let's see what we got. Wolf Among Us 2. I know they dropped the trailer a while back.
It's a short.
December 10th, 2023. There was a trailer.
It's a short little teaser.
Yeah. There's like a 2-minute 20 trailer. Probably just like, oh, this is a game that came out, blah blah blah. And it just explains for 2 minutes or whatever.
Probably
is what it is. Yeah. Anyway, like I said, that's about the only one of those that I really got into. So we go from one bad video game adaptation movie to probably another one. With the live action Minecraft movie trailer released. Did you see this?
I did. I did.
Yeah. I think I'm tired of Jack Black playing Jack Black. It was funny the first time 10 years ago, and it's just not really been that funny since. Not really.
I mean, I think that there's just this wave that, people our age are going to see where these IPs that were brought at times that were meant for people like you and I, like, you
Yeah.
know, whatever it was, it came out and it was geared towards us. Like, they have outlasted us and they've evolved and they've grown, and there are new, younger or different audiences that it's meant for now. And that's okay.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I guess
I'm
so.
never gonna lose sleep over a fucking Minecraft movie.
I'm not either. I'm not either. To
It
me,
does look whatever though. But
yeah. To me, the weirdest part about it is like back in the day, you know, when I was a kid growing up, we could watch Looney Tunes or Tom and Jerry or whatever, and the adults could laugh because there was like they were made for kids, but they also had the like, oh, the adults are probably going to be watching too because not everybody has a screen in front of them. Like, there's only one TV, so they craft and write these shows with like adult humor that's turned in that kids don't know about. Like, oh, it's funny, you know, his eyeballs are popping out of his head, but then like the adults know it's like, oh, he was kind of horny or whatever there, so they think it's funny too. So I was like, these all these stories were crafted for like a whole family to watch. Where now you get like, oh, you know, there's little kids love to play Minecraft, so let's just make this as the kiddiest thing ever or whatever. But then there's like, oh, yeah, there's also like a lot of adults that like to play Minecraft and have been playing since they were kids. And now there's a live action movie that's coming out that's not geared toward them in like any such way. And it's like, you know what I mean? Like, to me, if they would just put maybe a little bit more thought and effort into some of this stuff. Like I said, I'm not gonna lose sleep. I've played Minecraft. I don't care. It's whatever. This movie was always gonna be whatever to me.
yeah,
You know, I was way more upset about the Borderlands than I was about this game too, or this movie.
you see Mario though?
I did. Mario was fantastic.
I thought it was too, man.
It
I thought
was.
it was great too.
It was.
I heard a lot of people saying that they thought that a lot of it was, you know, mid, and I was like, oh, okay. And then it came on a streaming service, and we were just like, you know, screw it, let's just watch Mario. Man, it was great.
Yeah.
Loved
Just
it.
made for everybody. Everybody could enjoy it. Like, it's just an all around good movie. Like,
Yep.
and that's the thing, man. That's the thing that upsets me with these games and stuff. Like, I don't know if they're trying to appeal to this certain Twitter mob or whatever the hell you want to call it. You know, like they try to go for this stuff, and then it's just like it just flops hard. Nobody wants it. Disney's going through it hard, man. This year, they've lost their ass between Marvel and Star Wars, and yeah, I think the Inside Out 2 actually was a pretty good movie. Like, a lot of people were like, oh yeah, it's actually really good. Turned out to be really good, but then they had like all these other movies that came out that nobody, like Once Upon a Time or Wish Upon a Star, whatever the fuck it was. Nobody liked that shit.
I think with Deadpool and Wolverine, Marvel probably, or you know, Disney overall, I'm just saying they're gonna be okay. You know,
well, they definitely made money off that movie, but I don't think, like, right now the next IP they got coming out for Marvel is the Captain Falcon, whatever they call it, you know.
yeah, Brave New World.
Yeah, and it's been reshot 4 times. They're saying right now, this is an estimate, they're saying they've spent over $700 million on this movie between all the reshoots and stuff.
Jesus.
So it has to make 1.5 billion to break even.
Yeah, I don't know.
You know what I mean? Like, and then
Did
the
you see
Marvels.
Deadpool Wolverine?
Yeah, I watched it. Yeah, opening weekend.
Yeah, it's
Fantastic.
I've seen it twice in theaters. It was the first time I heard the Marvel intro. You know, dun, 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 dun. It's the first time I've heard that in a movie theater since like I think Eternals.
In game.
So, well, Eternals was after Endgame.
Yeah, I mean that was the last one I've watched.
Oh,
Was
okay.
in game.
Yeah. So okay, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So yeah. I mean,
Well,
just
no, I
been
guess
a while.
Spider-Man: No Way Home.
Oh yeah. You know what?
No Way Home. Yeah.
No Way Home was after, so that
Yeah.
that would have been it. And I don't know. My brain was just saying Sony. That was it. It was so it was kind of weird to like hear that again and go like, oh yeah, this used to give me like goosebumps. Like,
Right.
It used to be like, oh my god, I'm in for it. And then a few of the movies, whatever. So I'm definitely not as jacked for whatever they have coming next, but I'll still probably eventually watch it. You know, I got my Disney Plus.
I don't know,
I
like
still comfort watch those movies all the time.
I started to make a YouTube video. I still have the script like halfway typed out or whatever to make this like East versus West characters, like how they've written it was Miss Marvel, and then like an anime character. There was like a Japanese, anime character that was also like a strong female or whatever. Like how I thought those characters were written, good and bad. So I watched Captain Marvel, the first one, and I actually didn't hate it. Like I was actually surprised because I heard all the vitriol about it, and I just didn't have any interest in watching it. But I watched the movie. Like I fucking went in on Amazon and rented that shit and like paid money to watch this movie, and I didn't hate it. It also didn't I didn't care for it either. Like it didn't make me want to Captain Marvel's the best character ever. I'm just like, it's okay. It's a serviceable Marvel movie, I guess.
It didn't make you a Carol Danvers fan.
No, and that's the sad part because I am a Carol Danvers fan, just not a Disney Marvel Carol Danvers fan.
Yeah.
And that's and I went on this big rant a while back, like I said, about Harley Quinn, in this Harley Quinn in the boss role of this girl boss Harley Quinn or whatever. I'm like, and then I went through her whole fucking history, like when she was actually made, and they're like, oh, for a character you don't like, you don't know an awful lot about her. I'm like, I do, because she's a good character, just not in this fucking this way. And I kind of feel the same way about Marvel characters and stuff. Captain Marvel could have been an awesome freaking character if they'd have done her right or whatever. But they just didn't do her right. As Miss Marvel, back in the day, superpowered, sex femme fatale or whatever. Okay, you don't have to make her that. You make her Carol Danvers, fucking fighter pilot that gets alien powers or whatever. And that's what they did in the movie, but then they just made it not interesting, I guess, to me. So, weird part. Did you watch Captain Marvel?
The original, yeah,
Okay.
I did. I also, I didn't really know much about the character. I mean, I
Right.
read the first Civil War. I know her role in the second Civil War is a lot bigger. She's the opposing side instead of Cap versus Iron
So,
Man.
the thing that made me dislike her was there was this forced thing where she was always being told that she was in the wrong. So there's these flashbacks as a kid.
In the first movie?
She wrecks a go-kart,
Yeah.
and everybody's yelling at her because she wrecks a go-kart or some shit. There was this weird thing where everybody's against her, everybody hates her, blah blah blah, and then toward the end she breaks free of all of her people that are mad about her, or disappointed in her, or whatever, and becomes super powerful or whatever. It felt super forced and just not basically. The running joke was she figures out that the man was keeping her down all the time and the power was in her all along. And that's basically how it worked out. Like I said, I didn't hate the movie, but at the same time, I was this is just dumb writing, man. They could have done this better, I think.
I feel like you just summarized 90% of animes that I've ever seen.
That's true.
And you've also just spoken an incredibly powerful phrase to little girls that have not had that shown to them on screen their entire life.
Oh, that's not okay. Wonder Woman, all these shows have been out before. Shit, Wonder Woman was on in the freaking 70s. Xena Warrior Princess and all this shit. There's been female heroes out. Let's not make the Captain Marvel's the only one that's ever been out.
I'm not saying she's the only one. I'm not saying
I know, but
things don't exist.
I just,
this is a multi, $billion thing,
right.
The Marvel Cinematic Universe.
You also had, Black Widow was in them. Well, actually, there wasn't a lot of female. Technically, in the timeline, yes, but Black Widow was always in the Avengers movies. You had these other characters that may have not been like Jane Foster in the original Thors or whatever. Not necessarily a superhero, but stood right alongside them, kind of deal.
But, you're proving the point. They're not the main focus of it.
Right. They didn't have. That was the first female-led Marvel movie. Yes, I'll agree. That's true. But yeah, the facts that there's no female heroes or whatever. Didn't Wonder Woman come out before that too? Wonder Woman was already out in theaters. The movies.
Nobody saw the DC movies, man.
I think actually people went and watched Wonder Woman, right?
No, they did, and I did too, and I really, really enjoyed that.
That's that. To me, it's just I don't
But
know.
be a kid and be a fan of the WWF or whatever it was,
Right.
and then get an NCW Nitro VHS as a gift, and you're gonna go, yeah, I mean, you kind of got it. Like I am into
Oh
this,
yeah,
but you got the wrong it, you know?
and that's the thing.
Which is a
Like,
true story that happened to me as a kid. I gave somebody a fucking wrestling video gift, and it was not the wrestling that they were into, and I was
oh
like, well, I
no,
don't know the difference. I'm sorry.
different fucking franchise.
Yeah,
Yeah.
different
So
franchise, bro. The thought
so
was there. The
when you
thought
say
was there.
when you say these animes and stuff, to me the anime, like, I don't know. I've watched all this animation. Like I literally watch everything that's released every year, pretty much, like week by week, whatever's out. That, like, there's been some I'm like, that's too dumb. I don't want to watch it. But most of the time, I'll just watch weekly 30-minute episodes or whatever that comes out, and most of them are garbage. I'll be honest, like most of them, after I've finished them, I'm like, I've completely forgotten about these. I have no idea what's going on. You know what I mean? I'm just so, I don't know. It's. I'm not saying everything has to be like Oscar winning or whatever, because most of the Marvel movies are not Oscar winning. But I just felt like there was some lazy-ish writing stuff in that movie. Like I said, I didn't hate it. I actually enjoyed it way more than I thought I was going to. But
Yeah.
and the sad part, like Brie Larson, I think, because I was like a big Brie Larson fan before all that crap happened. Like I saw her in like 21 Jump Street
Yeah,
and
Jump Street movies, Scott Pilgrim.
Scott Pilgrim. And I was like, oh, she's super cute or whatever. Like I really thought that, and then it was funny, and then like all of a sudden didn't want to smile for guys that told her to smile or something. She's like this weirdest, like, I don't know what the hell happened. Like it just got really weird around her for some reason. Like even all the other Avengers characters, when they do interviews together, they were like kind of weirded out by her being in there, being in the interviews with her. Like there's the one where it's like Don Cheadle and Chris Hemsworth or whatever, and then Brie Larson's there, and they'll start talking. They're all like, "Yeah, kind of don't know what you're talking about. Like, you probably should shut the fuck up." They'll give her this like side eye look or whatever. So hopefully she gets it turned around. But I think she's out as Captain Marvel now. I think that.
Well, I didn't see the new one, so
Well, I think they're saying like she, but like there's still the new Avengers coming out. But after Captain Marvel to the Marvels or whatever did really bad in the box office, it lost a shit ton of money. It didn't make like it. I don't know if it made $100 million or something like that, and it was a several $100 million movie.
did you see it?
I did not, the newest one, and it didn't make a lot of sense, I guess. And also like two of the characters were like there was Miss Marvel, so you had to that, and that's kind of the weird thing too now. Which even with Deadpool, Wolverine, like you have to go and watch the Disney Plus shows to kind of understand where the Time Bureau comes from and all this stuff. Like, so if you watch Loki, you know where they come from. But if you never watch those, you're like, what the hell is this Time Bureau thing? What is this? You know what I mean? Like, so you got to do homework for movies. I don't know, man. Like I said, there's a ton of gripes with Marvel at this point, but we'll see what happens as they go, I guess.
That Minecraft movie though, looking great, right?
Yeah. Turn the music down on it. We definitely got Jason Momoa's weird. I don't know why. Like he doesn't fit into this world at all. This kind of looks like the Jumanji remake.
Yeah, it looks like, I don't know. That's a good way to put it. The Jumanji. I don't know. I didn't really watch those. Anyways.
I didn't either.
So
Yeah.
I just, yeah. You know, maybe kids are just super into this animation style, and this is like it. I don't know. Whatever. Will I watch it? Probably not.
Yeah.
I'm Steve.
Who?
Okay.
This guy is such a tool bag.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, whatever. I suppose. This looks bad. I don't know. It doesn't look good to me. I'm hearing the new Joker is getting shit on too.
I've heard that as well, which is a bummer because I really enjoyed what
I never-
Chris did.
I just
with
never watched the
Joker.
I never watched it. I'm not a huge movie guy when it comes to, like, if you name off a list of movies that's come out in the last 5 or 6 years, I would say 9 out of 10 I have not seen.
Did you ever see Taxi Driver? Martin Scorsese, Robert De Niro.
Yeah,
classic,
probably.
Talking to Me.
Yeah, probably years and years
Travis
ago.
Bickle. Yeah. It's, Joker is
Yeah.
very much doing what that movie did. I mean,
So
a lot, very similar, but it's still really fucking good. I mean, Joaquin Phoenix, he's a great fucking
Right.
actor, man.
well, yeah, like I said, I don't have anything against the movie. I just never really jumped at me to let me see it or whatever. Like, it wasn't on any of the streaming services that I had. Like, if it was free on something that I was already paying for or whatever, I probably would have watched it. But, like,
Got Max. It's not HBO, it's Max. But if you got Max,
Oh,
for
yeah.
sure it's on there.
I don't have Max right now. I actually canceled most of my subscriptions. Like, I just resubscribed to Paramount Plus because Tulsa King season 2 is coming out, and
Yeah. If you're not using them,
yeah,
drop
oh
them
yeah,
in.
I drop them.
Yeah.
Hulu, all like, I haven't had Netflix in over a year. Like, I don't watch Netflix. There's even a couple shows out now that I want to see off Netflix, but that's not enough to make me go and pay $20 a month or whatever.
Yeah, it's like a paycheck every year or some shit if you got all of
Oh,
these
yeah.
things, man. It's like, well,
Well,
all right,
it's
man.
literally more than what cable is. You know,
Yeah.
you could spend $100 on cable a month and get most of these shows or whatever. No, IGN gave Joker 2 a 5, which is, I haven't seen him give anything lower than a 7 in forever. I made a joke tweet about, it's like, IGN reviews water. It's like, it's cool and refreshing, but without electrolytes, it's not as hydrating as it could be. A 7. You know, IGN reviews cactus butt plugs. It will leave painful needles in your asshole, but comes in pretty colors. It's a 7. You know, like, that's just, I don't know. IGN's paid shill crap.
Yeah, I just haven't seen anything 1 through 6 in a lot of reviewers that use a
Right.
10-point system in a very long time. And it's because, I think like anything under a 7 is just people see as like an automatic death now.
Yeah,
Like,
5
you
is
pull your phone and you're like, I'm gonna go check out this place to eat. Oh, it has a 4.2. It fucking sucks.
right.
Look at that little dog.
What the fuck? What do you want? You want to go outside? Is that what you want?
I got to do the same here in a minute too.
You want to go outside in a minute? Fuzzball. Yeah. Well, I mean, we're at almost 2 hours. We can start winding it down now. Normally, like, I'll watch new trailers and stuff toward the end of the podcast. I haven't even gone through game trailers, bro. The game trailers YouTube page they update shit all the time. Let's see what's up there. If anything jumps out at me. There's been a couple games that's like some stuff that's popped out that I've hit my wish list now for weird games that, like, so there's this game called Gory Furry Carnage or something like that. And I was like, oh, it's like a cute cat on the thumbnail, and I normally have a couple girls on the podcast with me. I was like, oh, they'll enjoy this like cute cat game or whatever. So I launch it, and then like the immediately it's like MC-17. I'm like, oh,
Yep.
maybe it's not cute or whatever. And it's basically this cat that flies around in a hoverboard and like fucking fights these like mutated unicorns or whatever. And, like, it's bloody and gory and shit. It's super, super rough. It looked really fun. We got a Green Hawk Platoon, which is a new Army Men, like plastic Army Men game.
Which could be great. 'Cause I love the Army Men games.
Yeah. Official trailer.
Listen up. Our mission is to secure this region so our primary force can safely move in. Occupy the command points and hold out for additional reinforcements.
Yes, sir.
Be careful in there.
Follow me if you want to live. I'm on Overwatch. Keep me on the sidelines, will you? Stick me on.
So I saw another trailer that was like, they got like string tied around them.
Hold on to your butts.
Like the old string parachutes. Bad guy's base.
Right. Copy that.
Sounds like a plan, Sam.
Alright, can we see some gameplay?
Yeah, I'm really enjoying this, but like I'm so curious what the gameplay is gonna be like.
Right?
I remember when I got the Army Men game as a kid. It was a gift from and we like I was like, oh,
It's the Kool-Aid bottle.
Trying to kind of like fake it, going like, oh, I think that this is gonna be really cool, sure, and then like, well, this is gonna be lame, and then I got it home. And we like booted it up, and then we were doing multiplayer first. So yeah, and the multiplayer was like, you know, top down, almost looked RTS. It was like, where do you place your troops? And I was like, oh, this is not gonna be a game for me,
Right.
man. And then you place them and you launch into the game, and I was like, oh shit, this is so much fun. This is like the best thing ever. So I'm curious whether it's gonna be an exact clone of that, because it could be really fun, man. I love those old games, and there's nothing really scratching that itch.
This guy's name on the bottom of it.
You can run, but you can't hide.
Yeah, I'm not seeing any gameplay. So I saw a trailer for another game that was like action figures, and it was like taking place on like their like computer desktop and stuff. So it was like a, you know, there's all tiny scale. Yeah, so there's like
Green Hawk.
interesting. Oops, got way too quick. There's a cat. Okay. Elden Ring style. Oh, get that off there. I don't want that crow shit. Autoplay. No. Dude, is this a game? No, this is like... What the fuck? Does he really look like this now? The fucking Ed McMahon trailer for Netflix. It looks like a fucking video game. I'm gonna show you this thumbnail, dude. Look at this crazy shit.
What the fuck?
I'm right? It's like, that's what he looks like now? I guess it's just a Netflix documentary, but I thought it was a fucking game, like a weird ass game graphics and stuff. Barcore, I watched this trailer before. It's a new one, I guess. What is it? Give me videos. Game. Oh, I'm not in the game trailer. Shit, that's why. This is what I wanted. Got an X-Men pinball. Oh, pinball. Space Marines official launch trailer from 9 hours ago. Did you watch this yet?
I mean, I've watched, you know, people streaming the game.
So they, I heard this is advertised. They're supposed to be like Helldivers, where it's like kind of randomly generated maps and stuff.
So I'm pretty sure that campaign is linear, and I think I heard that the co-op stuff, you know, the really highly reputable stuff afterwards is like, you know, kind of like AI director more, like it's still pretty linear. I don't know whether it's randomly generated like tiles and stuff. But you just shoot a bunch of shit and kill a bunch of shit, and you're a big beefy boy, and what do you want? You just bring a
Solo
little
or
death.
co-op?
Suffer the wrath of Ultima Hellspawn! In his name, I will fight.
Customization looks pretty good. PvP modes? How the hell is that gonna work?
Probably raging or something.
If we die,
Right.
we die with vengeance on our lips!
Yeah. See, this comes out on my birthday. My birthday's the 9th, but I don't know if I'm probably not gonna buy it day one. I'll probably hold
if
off.
Got the deluxe definitive edition, you could be playing it right now.
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm all right.
Exactly.
Dude, okay, so all right. I'm probably not gonna buy any more deluxe editions because I bought the fucking Wukong deluxe edition, and I used the armor and the staff for all of what 20 fucking minutes before it was just completely useless or whatever. Like it's better than your starting equipment, and then like it's worse than the first thing you craft. It literally lasts you for like 25, 30 minutes of the game. Like I was like, oh, okay, I guess I got it now. And then you can't upgrade it. You can't do anything with it. So I was like, whatever.
Well, all I'll say is there is a reason that you can't sell or discard it.
Well, I mean, yeah, maybe I'll get back around to it. I don't know. Hopefully, I'll definitely, like I said, I've been trying to beat it. I've been trying to get through all of it now. I just haven't had a lot of time recently. I'm not sure about the new Mario game, Mario Luigi Brothership, which just sounds weird.
Yeah, I did see that.
Oh, here's a Payday 3 Chapter 4 update. Not seeing anything jumping out. So this Spectre game, did you see this
Spectre
at all?
Divine.
Neo Berlin 28. I did watch that. That trailer here a while back. It's very cyberpunkish. The Berlin 2087. Yeah, Spectre Divide. I watched. I guess you just make a copy of yourself. I don't know. If this is going to be for me either.
Do you like Counter-Strike or Valorant? It's probably not going to be for you then.
No. Honestly, if it's competitive, it's probably not going to be for me these days. Like, I'm just not. I just don't have time to be sweaty and shit on it. I just don't. There's way more other games that I can play that don't need that.
Yep.
Sweatiness to, like. I had last year. I think my most played game last year was still Apex, and I played most of that at the beginning of the year. I haven't touched Apex since like March of last year or some shit like that.
I played for the first time today in a long time. I take very regular and very long breaks from that game, but my friends, like I said at the beginning, a lot of my friends really play a lot of COD.
Yep.
And one of the few other games that they do play in lulls is Apex. And so I'll hop on there, and who the fuck knows? They nerfed aim assist from controller, which thank God.
Oh, they did nerf it. I just saw
they did by
video.
25%, and they did like a really hard reset to MMR because I played a few, like 3 games today with my friends who also haven't played in forever, and we're all in bronze. And we were deliberately not being dickheads and going around and stomping everybody. But we won a couple like back to back. So it was kind of nice to see like a real good MMR reset for people who haven't played in a long ass time. And then, like our points kind of like boosting us out of there. But I don't know. It's always got its own fucking problems. Every game does, especially every, live service or competitive game. Yeah, whatever. It's a naughty breaker. It's fun.
So I guess they brought fishing into No Man's Sky.
Did you ever play No Man's Sky?
Yeah, I got like 200 and something hours on my Steam account or whatever.
I was actually thinking about picking it up. I have it. I want to see it on my wish list, and I think next time I see it go on sale, I'll probably pick it up.
I wouldn't mind getting back into it. I was playing like the expeditions are actually really cool. Because each season they do, or whatever update, they'll do like an expedition that lasts for like 5 weeks or something like that.
Oh, it's on sale right now.
Basically you do, it starts you out like a whole new run, and you just have like 5 weeks to complete all these like checklist tasks, and then it unlocks whatever unlocks that are there. I haven't actually got into it in a long time. Like they've done a bunch of shit, like as far as they made your like frigate, like giant space ship or whatever. They made it completely customizable where you can like completely deck it out now. I haven't touched any of that since then.
Yeah, look at him here with the little fucking fishing rods.
Yeah, I'm curious. About it. It was neat. It's a neat game. Like to me though, I figured out a way to like cheese the money system, and then I'd just fly around and sit at space stations and wait till cool spaceships flew in, and I'd buy them. I go up and like, oh, I want this ship now. I want to buy it from you. Yeah, I'm not seeing a lot of trailers coming out this this week that's jumping out at me that I want to see. Self-loss, maximum football. Okay.
Oh, come in.
Okay, I guess.
Yeah,
It's
I was
not-
gonna look and see if there's anything
it's
on
not
my wish list that
Madden.
was like jumping out at me. Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, this is kind of a slower week for trailers. I guess there's a bunch last week. I saw some more on Expedition 33. Got a mix of Legend of Dragon, Shadow Hearts, Mario RPG vibes with the Persona style menus. Oh, Expedition 33. I haven't heard of that one. So yeah, there was what games are coming out in September? So God of War was and Space Marine. I think the only games coming out in September that I really have any kind of interest in.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we'll see if anybody on my friends list is gonna get it, but I'll probably pick up Space Marine, and I've already beat the fucking brakes off of Ragnarok, so maybe I'll do like a new game plus playthrough or something.
Yeah,
It's great. It's great, man. I'm jealous you get to play it for the first time. It's fucking phenomenal.
yeah. Well, that's it. That's the thing. I keep forgetting. Like my PlayStation 5, I haven't even turned it on in 2 months now or something. Like since I beat Stellar Blade or whatever, I haven't really even messed with it. I've got the chance to play. I mean, I could get Spider-Man 2. I could get God of War 2 and Horizon 2. Like I haven't touched any of those games. I've not heard good things about all of them. I've heard mostly bad things about a lot of them compared to the first games. But so we'll see.
Spider-Man 2 story not as for me. Story not as impactful as
Right.
2018, but still, fucking just a great showcase for what the PS5 is capable of, and the controller too.
Yeah.
And just still really solid throughout. I don't get necessarily all the hate. I understand some.
I
of
think
it.
the story was a
just
big part of
wasn't-
it. Yeah.
Yeah, it just wasn't didn't resonate as much, and that's fine. And if you loved 2018, you're more than likely going to really enjoy Spider-Man 2. Horizon Forbidden West, I played the shit out of the first one. I was very late to it. I really enjoyed the first one for being, just like a Ubisoft game, but not a Ubisoft game. Still, had a decent enough time. I played Forbidden West for like 2 or 3 hours, and it's kind of my fault because I just done an open world game, so I had kind of like open world fatigue. I was like, I need something multiplayer, or I need something linear.
Right.
And I need not this.
Yeah. Burnout. Burnout's real.
Open world burnout is very real.
I enjoyed Horizon. I played through it again on PC. Like I bought it on PC on sale or whatever. Played through it again with like big booty modded Aloy or whatever.
Of course. Everyone does.
Because I could, why not? So Spider-Man, like I don't know, God of War. I don't know, man. Should I just get it for my PlayStation or should I get it on PC? Probably just get it for my PlayStation, honestly.
I don't know your PC specs, but I can tell you that it's a stunning game, and if you have a good like 4K monitor or TV or whatever you're gonna play it on,
Yeah, I got a
It's
2K monitor.
it's fucking beautiful and moving, and just take your time, enjoy it.
Yeah.
You're never gonna be able to play it for the first time again.
No.
And it's just fucking chef's kiss.
Yeah, I enjoyed the first one. I loved the shit out of it. Like I was super close to. I was gonna platinum it. I couldn't never beat the final fucking Valkyrie, and I think that's where I gave up on it. Like I beat the whole game, and I went.
Queen.
Yeah.
Yeah, she rocked my shit for
fuck
days.
And I refused to go down in
days.
difficulty.
I did too.
I refused
did too.
it. So
I did just under Give Me God of War, just under the hardest I did for my playthroughs of both games, and
I just played
I
through
definitely
normal.
got my shit rocked for several encounters. But I refused to drop it, and I finally got her. I actually watched me play both of those games, so like God of War 2018. She was like really into it, and like the first night that I was doing attempts against Valkyrie Queen, she was like, "Yeah, maybe we go do something else, huh? Like a little story related or something. Maybe do this when I'm not around." And it's like, all right. And then like the next night, I fucking got the Valkyrie Queen down, and I was like the last hit, and I was doing it, and I paused it, and I got up, and it was like 11:15 at night, and I was like, come watch this fucking cinematic. Like, I just beat this bitch's ass. And she like got up and like watched it and was like, I'm very proud of you. Good night. Thank you.
Yeah, I went through like, oh my god, because I was trying to figure out. I had my you have like 2 skills or whatever you can use for each weapon, your blades and your axe.
Yeah.
And I would like fucking hammer both of those skills. Bam, axe skill, flip over, blade skill, skill, rage mode.
Runic's on cooldown.
Yeah, rage mode, fucking beat her ass while my runes are cooling down or whatever. It's like, hit her with fucking Atreus, whatever skills I had equipped with that, but like trying just everything because that bitch would just fucking fly away from you and then like dive bomb you unblockable or whatever.
The dive bombs. Once you get the timing, it was a lot better.
Yeah.
I saw a lot of people leading up to that, fighting all the other Valkyries that didn't realize, and this was kind of, it served its intended purpose for me, was like each of the Valkyrie fights, she uses all of their move sets.
Yeah.
And all at the same time. So like, because it was on that difficulty and because I was pushing those Valkyrie fights as soon as I could do them, I was putting up several attempts on all of them. Another one, and then I get one down, move to another one. Then when I finally got to Valkyrie Queen, I was like, oh, okay, she's doing all of this shit. Great.
Well, it wasn't just she was doing all of it. She was doing the fucking most pain in the ass ones over. In my playthroughs, like the teleport away from screen, dive bomb, and then like the like a blade attack or some shit, like a
oh my god,
teleport to you,
drop and the drag your face on the ground.
yeah.
Oh dude, she beat my wings off my ass, bro, for like 2 nights. For 2 nights.
Yeah, all we had to do was like go and lower the difficulty, but I refused.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I didn't hear no bell. No.
Yeah, so I don't know.
It's a great game.
It was.
Ragnarok should be great.
All right, yeah, I'm excited because, like I said, like after playing Wukong, I'm like, I want my fucking axe. I want my fucking Leviathan axe back because that was probably the single greatest like weapon mechanic that in any game that I've played in a long time. Like even till now, like where you could just chuck your axe.
Yep.
And then go bare knuckles, and then like bring it back and like mid swing, bring it back and hit somebody with it or whatever. Like,
and it's
so good.
It's the I mean, there's like one thing I missed about Ragnarok with the combat was like the fist is in like its own tree. It's like not as pronounced. You still have a lot of the same moves. I would say it's not as like focused on that. But like the combat just glides now. Yeah. Like it was already great, but it's just like even better. I'm so jealous of you. I was so happy when they did the Ragnarok like DLC, whatever it was. But it was, it's a roguelite DLC, and I got to like go back in there, and I did throw it on that difficulty, and I quickly was getting my shit rocked, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna fucking like I haven't played this like since it came out a year ago. I just want to play the DLC. I just want to like have fun. So I definitely love it, but it's great. It's great, man. Yeah, no, I'm excited. I'm definitely gonna check it out. I may go fire my PlayStation up here this weekend and see if it's on sale on PlayStation or something. Just go ahead and get it because I think it comes out like 16th or 19th or something of September on PC. Yeah, man. Well, thanks for joining me. We're at 2 hours. Dude, thank you for having me, man.
Yeah, it's been fun. Hopefully, I gotta figure out what's going on with everybody. I don't know. I was trying to do a panel show and it worked out pretty well for 2 or 3 weeks, and then everybody kind of started bailing on me. Life happens, shit happens. Yeah. So I'm gonna try to get back to that though, like a solid 4 or 5 person podcast because it's a lot of fun that way. This is fun too. I like doing one-on-ones as well. So cool. But yeah, thanks for joining me.
Yeah, man, thanks for having me.
Definitely have you back on soon. We'll just shoot the shit more. It's just fun sitting around bullshitting about video games. So. Sure, man. But thank you. Have a good one. Have a good one. We'll catch everybody again next time. Later. All right, guys. Thanks for joining me. I'm probably just going to go ahead and end the podcast now, and we'll be back next Thursday for episode 38. We'll see who's on. I've got the collab plan for September 7th. So this Saturday, 5 p.m. Central Time, with a bunch of people. Yeah, Swoop, thanks for joining in. Seriously, bro, thank you for coming in. We're gonna try to do the collab for Deceit 2. Just a bunch of people turning into monsters, eating each other. That's the plan, but we will see if everybody is still around. Ventress, thank you for joining in. Thanks for the convo in the chat. You've been a great one. And yeah, we'll catch everybody again. Like I said, check with us on Saturday, see if the thing's going on. If not, I will definitely be back next Thursday, episode number 38. We will see what happens until then. Catch you guys later.